Jonathan, hard luck. After getting them 91 for 7, what do you say to your team following a result like that?
Well, it's a case of we got ourselves into position and, should have capitalised. We obviously dropped 2 chances and gave a person like Maxwell a chance. He's going to run with it, and he almost played with a bit of freedom and almost freed him up a little bit and gave a bit of momentum back to them. I thought, spectacular innings, world-class innings. But we certainly helped him along the way a bit.
Hi, Trotty. Just obviously, you guys would be feeling really disappointed. You touched on it a bit there, but just taking the emotions and the results out of it, what do you think when you see an innings like that, somebody struggling through cramp and all that sort of thing?
Yeah, just real good innings. I always think could we have done a few things slightly different, bowled certain areas, different bowlers here or there. Obviously there are certain things you would like to have tried different now, but hindsight's a great thing, and so it's a good lesson, I think, as well for our players. I think because this game, you take your eye off the ball just a little bit. You think too far ahead, and you try and start thinking other things instead of just worrying about taking the next wicket. And this game can bite you pretty quickly. So it'll be great. I think obviously it's a disappointing loss, but I think as an experience for a young side developing, this is these sorts of things, make sure that we learn from these sorts of things, and just how cutthroat cricket is at the highest level, and how you need to be on your game, not for 70 overs, but for 100 overs.
Jonathan, you still have a match remaining, and after today's, like you said, that cricket obviously is this game can bite you. From here, what are the lessons that your boys should learn from here, and any particular thing that you'd like to tell them? Because obviously these defeats can be shattering, shattering the confidence.
Well, that's what I said. I think we've all enjoyed the victories and those sorts of things. I said we win as a side and make sure we lose as a side. There's no pointing fingers. There's no blaming. But we just look at it and say, well, and I said to them, is it, as a bowler, is there anything you would have perhaps now done differently with regards to, in practice, developing a different delivery? Would you have perhaps bowled different balls? As long as we sort of learn from it and see how we can get better. But it is difficult to get over the fact that, one player's got 200. And the rest of the team have got, sort of 80, probably. So, that's the difficult thing to understand. And there's, the boys are hurting, and you'll be certainly wishing they could have it back.
Jonathan, how happy you are with Zadran's inning?
Yeah, obviously to get the first 100 and to have an in-batsman in the last 10 overs was fantastic. We saw how we could accelerate. I think the partnership with Rashid and himself, sort of gave us a bit of a kick at, lifted us at the end and kicked us onto a defendable total. So, which should have been defendable, but very happy that he got 100. And maybe there's times where he could maybe have accelerated a little bit quicker and maybe gone a bit quicker. But to get your first 100 in a World Cup, and he's a fantastic player and a great lad. So really happy for him, and hopefully many more.
So the team has a lot of youngsters, be it Zadran, Gurbaz, Noor. So what are the learnings that you would like to give to them? Because, such kind of defeats sometimes take a mental toll as well, because they're quite young. And that's when they try to think a lot about such kind of defeats. But what kind of learnings would you like to give to them, given that one important match is left in this tournament ahead?
Well, I said in the meeting now, I just said, this feeling that we got the feeling in the dressing room now, or the feeling we have in the dressing room right now, is what should scare us about thinking too far ahead and taking our eye off the ball, or perhaps thinking that not that the game's won, but perhaps not doing as well as what got us into the position, having them 7 down. So and those sorts of things, learning about, they'll be able to pass us on about, we obviously gave him 2 lives. You give any world-class player 2 lives, he's going to hurt you. So those types of things for the players coming in and the players, developing, all round with the game. It's not just about bowling in the net. It's about practicing your fielding. Make sure your fielding's improving all the time. because it's ended up costing us a game today, an important game, the fielding. So that's those little things. That's a little thing everyone can learn from.
So did you boys get a bit relaxed after taking those 7 wickets in a very difficult situation, made it difficult for Australia? So did the boys looked relaxed a bit?
I don't know about relaxed. I think when obviously, unfortunately, the second catch went down, everyone just seemed to sort of think, or just waiting for him, Maxwell to get out. I didn't see a lot of encouragement or people geeing up each other and encouraging each other. It seemed to sort of like the attitude was a little bit, well, we're just we'll still win type thing. Not a case of if when you get an opportunity against a side like Australia, you've got to grab it. They're not going to just give it to you, and you've got to take it. If you get a chance to take it, you've got to take it, and that's the type of things we'll learn from today, and what we just spoke about in the dressing room.
Hi, coach. During the latter half of Maxwell's innings, when he was down with cramps, do you think they could have, your team could have done things differently, tactics in terms of different field placements, maybe, so that they could stop the singles and stop the rotating of the strike? Maxwell was already hurting; he was not able to run properly. Do you think they could have been a bit more creative on the field in terms of captaincy and tactics?
Well, he kept hitting boundaries, so with regards to, there wasn't really much singles going, so we didn't have to stop the singles. So, I thought Cummins played well as well. So, I'm sure there's a few things, maybe 1 or 2 things we could have done differently, but that's cricket, and there's always going to be things you want to have back. But he kept hitting them in the stands, so we can't put fielders in the stands. So, wish we could have, but. Full credit to him, the way that he played to get a double 100 is phenomenal. He deserved to win the game. You get a double 100. So, but certainly, there are a few things you could have done differently.
Coach, how do you sort of tell your bowlers to bowl to a guy like Maxi who can just sort of conjure up a shot out of nowhere? Just reverse flick a ball and sort of.
Well, yeah, that's what I mentioned earlier. Could we have tried maybe wider Yorkers when he was cramping up? Could we have done things differently? I just saw the same delivery over and over again, which is, but you got to remember that he was hitting all. Guys were changing pace. He was hitting that. Spinners were bowling different lengths. He was hitting that. Sometimes you've got to take your cap off to a person the way that he played. But he shouldn't have been allowed to play like that. We should have had him out earlier.
Were you surprised with the DRS decision?
Yeah. Well, he was walking off, wasn't he? So he didn't expect it to be going over. So. We'd love that to have been hitting.
Hi, coach. One match to go. Still, you have an offside chance of making it to the semi-finals. After such a defeat, as a coach, what it takes to lift up a team, and having spent so much time with this team, how do you think they will react for the South Africa game?
One, the guys have been resilient. I mean, we lost the New Zealand game, pretty heavily, and we came back and won the next game. We lost the India game pretty heavily. We came back and beat England. So there is evidence of us coming back. But this will be a difficult one to swallow. The good thing, in a way, I think, is we play quite soon. We travel, practice and then play. It's only 2 days in between games for us. So there's no time to mope around. We've got to pick ourselves up and learn from the experience. And there's some great learning points for the guys going forward. But it's a bitter pill to swallow. It would really be nice to sitting here with 10 points, but hopefully that's after the South Africa game.